Welcome to the July 14th meeting of the Board of Aviation Commissioners. Roll call: Don Cummings.
Present.
Tom Green.
Present.
Paul Jansen.
Here.
Corey Murphy's present. John McCutcheon.
Present.
John Marlatt.
Here.
And we're also joined with Nikki Abney from CHA and Mary York. You received the meeting minutes via email. They're also were handed to you. Meeting minutes from June 29th, 2026. What is your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
A motion from Paul and a second from Tom. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 3 on the agenda, invoices and pay applications for approval and/or ratification. I only have one, and that was the June services provided by Skycastle Aviation in the amount of $2,333.77. I have a motion.
I'll move.
Pay it.
Got a motion from Don. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Tom. Any questions? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Nikki?
All right. So starting with grant administration, I think I had mentioned this in the previous July meeting, but we did submit the grant closeout packages that are associated with the land acquisition, along with now the updated Exhibit A. So that has also been submitted, waiting to hear back from FAA on that. And then also from a grant perspective, I know Corey had sent out an email regarding NDOT's pavement maintenance grant that they have going on. So right now, the way the process is you must submit a pre-approval form. So that's what was sent to all of you for approval. That has now been submitted to NDOT along with an updated exhibit that's attached to show what the project boundaries would be. And so once NDOT has had a chance to review and if they send their approval, then we'll go through the actual grant application process. And it's a lot more streamlined than the federal grant process. NDOT has, I think it's about a 2-page form that we'll fill out once the work would be complete. So we have until December to file the actual grant application. The application submission opens up tomorrow. And as a reminder, this would be for reimbursement. So the next steps would be going through the bid process, and then once you guys would go through and do the project, then we would submit the formal application for the reimbursement. So this is just the pre-approval saying that yes, they would participate in the grant. In the pre-approval, we included what the maximum request would be for those numbers. So like I said, as I hear back from NDOT, I will keep you all informed. That way we know when it's time to move forward with the next steps if you choose to do so.
I would like to go ahead and have a discussion regarding that, and if the board's so inclined to go ahead and authorize you to prepare the bid specs based on the projects that we outlined. And so that was restriping taxiway A,
Yes,
which is
Alpha.
which is the parallel runway for all you non-pilots out there, right? Come on, chuckle. It's supposed to be funny. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then crack sealing all areas where needed. And so that we decided not to do the pavement markings on the main runway because our capital improvement plan calls for a substantial seal coat in 28, and a seal coat would cover up the striping, so it just doesn't make sense to do that right now. And so that was the thought process. You wouldn't necessarily have to do the work until NDOT approved.
Approves it, so
But-
pending their approval. And I think it'll be a pretty streamlined process, because I know that we had previously prepared the bid packages, but at that time, we had included I think the tie downs, the runway striping, and the apron striping. So this would be just for the Alpha, and then, do you want us to include crack sealing in there, is that?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think so.
include crack sealing.
Yep.
And the NDOT is following the same regulations as what FAA does as far as eligibility, so it's, the pavement that would be eligible is up to like 15 feet from any of the hangar facilities. So the 15 feet directly in front of any kind of the hangars or facilities, that would not be eligible, but anything else would be.
Questions, comments? Is there a motion to authorize the creation of the bid documents once NDOT approves?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion from Tom and a second from Don.
Okay.
Any further discussion on that item? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. And then Corey, once I receive any approval or any movement from NDOT, I'll make sure to coordinate and let you know, and then you can update the board. As far as the ALP update and narrative report, we had to kind of reschedule our meeting with FAA, but we were able to have that still last week. So we're looking, I was hoping last Friday to have the revisions for the ALP submitted, but with us shifting that meeting slightly, it'll end up being this Friday that we'll have that ALP submitted. And then I'm looking at today getting you, it might be after 5, but at some point today I'll have you guys the final ALP update and narrative report, the compiled. So all the chapters that we had done previously will all be compiled into one report for you and then submitted that. So that'll get submitted over to you at some point within the day. And then as far as the taxiway Alpha 2 rehab, 2 of our engineers were able to go on site last week, and they met with John to do a site visit at the airport. They were able to go through and take pictures and get their eyes on the site and do some of that preliminary work. And I know that they talked with John a little bit about some staging areas, so we can go through some of that information. I know I have some questions, and I need to ask the board as far as preferences for how some things will be handled during the construction. I don't know if you want to do that as part of the board meeting or separate for some of the logistics. So,
What's your timing on needing that information?
it's just a few quick questions, just as far as preferences. So
Go for it.
I can run through them real quick. Okay, so during the course of the construction project, we were looking to have an engineer on site during construction. Do you prefer that they have a separate field office on site, or are they able to use one of the current office spaces there at the airport during the time of construction with engineers?
John can rent them a room.
They can use the pilot's office if
The pilot's
if
office?
need to. How long will we be in there?
I'll find out the exact, I know that the construction, looking for the construction itself to only probably take a couple days. So it'll only be a few days, probably like when they're doing like the site prep and then the actual construction and then to do any final inspection.
You can use the pilot's office.
Okay. As far as closures, I have a map. So with closures, like I said, they're looking to do 1 to 2 days. And so there's a few different ways that they can do the closures. They can do the work on a weekend. It can be weekday. There's opportunities to be able to do the construction as an overnight job. Doing it overnight might have some additional costs because of lighting and so forth, or it can be done also in a phased approach. So we can have a closure where everything, the whole taxiway is closed down at one time. We can leave the runway open to still allow for touch and goes, And then that closure would be, if we did the entire taxiway at once, this would be where you would have the closure at. Or there's an opportunity if you wanted to do it as a phased approach where we could do more of the closure down here and focus first on the southern half. That way aircraft could still taxi in, cut through the apron and go down to fuel. So there's just a few different ways that we were looking at it. I didn't know how you guys would prefer to do it, and you can think about it. You don't have to give the answer today.
Let's eliminate one first. Are you busier on the weekend than you are like on a Wednesday or a Thursday?
Yeah, it depends on, I would rather do it in a weekday.
Yeah.
A weekday.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
What did you say the total time frame of the project would be?
So they said that the construction itself, so the closure would be probably a 2-day closure. They could do it in 1 day, but if you did it in 1 day, there would be higher costs associated with the 1 day. So that's why I said I wasn't sure if which would be in your best interest, a 1 or 2 day versus like with the closures, how that would
My
work.
opinion is just do it just all at once and do it 2-day closure.
2 days,
Get
but
it-
not on the weekend is
Yeah,
my
2
first
days, not
thought.
on the weekend.
2 days, weekday.
Yeah, if I
Okay.
can, and the farther I can know ahead of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can let everybody know that way, but.
Yes. And then, like I said, you guys can think about how you want to do the closure. If you want us to just close the entire taxiway, that way they can just do the whole thing at once, or if you want them to kind of reset up how they're doing it and pause so that they can keep parts of it open for fueling.
I would say just do it all at once.
Do it all at
I'd
once.
say so.
Let
Okay.
everybody, yeah, just
Yeah.
do it and get it over with. That'd be the cheapest probably way to get it
Okay.
moving also.
It's
Do you
gonna be in
want-
2027, right?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Do you want to keep the runway open for touch and goes during
Yeah,
that?
we'll keep
Okay.
the runway open.
So keep the runway open, close
Runway
the
and-
entire taxiway.
Hey,
Got
John,
it.
what do you think about closing the taxiway from closing the parallel?
I would,
On
no,
that,
I would
so
think
you
if
can-
they wanna
so you
close
can
it up
park.
there where the dash lines is, leave the parallel taxiway open.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were looking to
Well,
keep
if you
that.
could load, if somebody wanted to come in and park for any reason,
Oh,
if you kept
well,
that
I guess
little,
I won't be there, so, but.
kept that little end open.
Sorry about that. If they could just come at, yeah, either from A1 to A2, you could close
Yeah.
for parking, or if they could bring that line down just a little bit farther, I don't know if that line's accurate, but,
I think that's pretty accurate to
Okay,
where they
probably
would
is.
do it,
all
yeah.
right.
To allow for movement of the construction
Right.
vehicles around it.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
That way at
Would be
least
an
somebody
Okay.
would have a place to park.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. So I'll make that note of closing this area from,
Just
out
for
1 out
parking.
2 for parking.
yeah, for parking.
And then we also wanted to take into consideration seasonal constraints. So if there's any times where there's higher corporate use or with crop dusting and things that you need to make sure that there is that access to the fuel farm. That way we're not interfering, the construction's not interfering with those activities.
No, I don't think that, the crop dusting side of it, they come in trucks and get fuel for that, so
Okay.
they don't fly
So no
in for that.
constraints there.
So
Okay.
I would,
Yeah, we're talking October 2027, right?
So we'll put it out for bid. What we're gonna do is we're going to put it in out for bid probably around like the March, April timeframe, and then that's when we'll submit the grant application. Grant applications are usually due April, May. And then any time between that April and September, you guys will receive the grant. So once the grant's received, the construction could start. So if the grant came in July, we'd be able to get the
Okay.
construction started in July. If the grant doesn't start, well, probably in August. If the grant doesn't come till September, then it would probably be then, like you said, the October timeframe. So it's really dependent on when the grant comes.
Okay.
And then there's also, we were talking project staging. So this was because of, I know that you guys have the sewer project going on, and we're trying to be mindful of where we would be able to do the staging area. So this area here is approximately 125 feet west of the main hangar. That's where we were wanting to propose the contractor staging
Could you
area.
go just a little bit further west?
A little further west.
Yeah.
I can ask if that's okay. I can further West requested. Okay, I will send that note. Those are the only questions that I had. Did anyone else have any questions for me right now? I can pass that on. I don't see that being an issue. If there's a reason that they think that, I'll let you know, but I'll make that request for the further west for the staging.
We're pretty sure we're gonna get the grant.
Yeah, 'cause that's what, the FAA and NDOT, they've already have everything like where it should be programmed. NDOT sent me the updated ACIP, that they went through and coordinated with FAA, and everything is on there as we had requested, essentially, so we're good there.
My question is, and it's the fine
Yeah.
line, I've talked to Corey a little bit, the grants that already appropriated, you know, we feel good about those, feel okay with those. But people are starting to realize that road funding through NDOT for the next 3 or 4 years is gonna be butt ugly unless the governor does have $500 million to put in there.
Yeah.
Are you hearing or are you seeing anybody talk about that what NDOT applies to
I am not.
for the future? We're not talking about what's already been set aside. What's been
Yeah.
appropriated is appropriated. We feel good about that, right, Corey? So, but the year after that, I'm really
Yeah.
skeptical about that.
Let's see, I'll show you. I have on here. Here it is. Get this open. So this is what NDOT and FAA currently have programmed for projects. This does not include the NDOT only. I know that in our CIP we included the NDOT project that we talked about earlier today, so it's not shown in in their version of the ACIP, since this is just from what the FAA is really concerned about. But you'll see in here they do have programmed the construction, and it was for the cost that we had requested. So the state would be 21, just a little over 21,000 for their match, and they've also included for the surface treatment as well. So they have everything programmed. So I've not seen or heard anything. I just received this probably in May or June. So, like I said, everything was looking as requested, so I think we should be good. But I'll let you guys know if I do hear anything. But yes, I'll send that request in about the staging area. That's all that I had on the Alpha 2 project as of right now. And then the only other things that I brought with me today was just the hangar siding and options there. So otherwise, my report's complete.
Any questions for Nikki? Thank you, Nikki.
Yep, no
You're
problem.
gonna go ahead and pull up the layouts.
Okay.
We'll point and grunt at that here in a minute.
Okay. And then I have information for that too.
Anything for you to?
I told you I'd contact K&W Fueling Systems about an estimate for the self-serve pump. And they're going to come out on site. They're going to refer this to Hoosier Petroleum. I don't know, I'm not familiar with them, but they thought they would be best suited to do the installation and give us an estimate. Because of where they're situated right now doing those kinds of things. They really would rather have somebody else with more expertise in those kinds of systems right now. So they're supposed to come out this next week to do an on-site visit to look before they give an estimate. And
Where's
I don't know.
Hoosier?
I didn't ask. I should have asked, but I didn't. I'll find all that out when they come out. But it's somebody K&W works with quite a bit, so
That guy that came out after you had left the other night, how did he pay? What method?
Credit card.
So,
I'll take that back. He pays cash because we give a cash discount, so.
but at that point in time that we make that change, there won't be a cash discount
There won't be a
anymore.
cash
It'll all
discount available, no.
be- Is he one, I mean,
He's one that comes in.
I'm an old dog that doesn't like new tricks. Is he one that will switch over, or we go someplace else to buy a kit?
Well, I think I'm gonna give that a two-parter. I think normally he would come on over. He's old enough that he may not like the self-service. One of the reasons he comes is so he don't have to climb up on the ladder and get up there himself. I think he's younger than me, to be honest with you, but he's not quite.
He looked older than you.
Yeah, but I don't think he is.
Okay.
But he comes in once every couple weeks or so, but, and I always like to make sure and get him if I see him, because he always comes in late, because he usually is running low on fuel, so I don't like to let him get away because I'm always afraid he'll end up
Won't
in the
make it to
field
the
somewhere.
next-
And
to the
he
next
only
spot.
had 2.5 gallon left the other day.
Holy cow.
But he's in a 150, so that gets him a half hour.
Yeah, as long as you don't.
He's legal, but yeah, as long as he's
Deeply.
like this. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think he would come as long as he's feeling good enough to.
Does he have his own runway here in the county?
No, he's in Mount Comfort, actually.
Well, you know who I was probably
Yeah.
talking to
Yeah.
about.
No, he doesn't. He's based at Mount Comfort.
But everybody's in agreement that we need to go with the new pumps, the credit card. And,
Oh, yeah.
Assuming we can afford it.
Yeah.
we're gonna have to figure out a way to afford it because it's.
And I know that I have that on my list, still like homework that I owe you guys, is to look to see what steps that you may need to take from an FAA perspective. I'm not sure if there's anything that you need to do from an environmental standpoint or not.
Well, no, I was thinking more, is there any grant money out there for it? Is what I.
Yeah, I don't think that there'd be anything from a grant perspective.
Go slow on that
But-
garage you're building.
Like I said, I know I had mentioned previously that there sometimes like are opportunities through IDEM. I don't know how involved we want to get with that. So I can revisit that now that this is becoming more of a, I guess sooner rather than later item. But I still had it on my list
I'm still
to look
working
at the
with
fuel
them,
farm,
so
but I hadn't.
Yeah, if we
I
want
hadn't
something from
completed that
IDEM, is this on?
Yes.
Yes, it's on.
It's an ongoing, but it's going well. It's just
Broadcasting
they're-
live from
yeah.
downtown Newcastle.
Items fine.
It's
Items
going
wonderful,
well,
they're
it's just
just
they're
slow. It's a Mannion issue, yeah, man.
He mentioned
Nice
Hoosier
cover.
Petroleum, and I Googled it, and so you can find it too if you just go to HoosierEquipment.com, HoosierEquipment.com, and they do all types of fueling systems, including municipal airport.
Where they located at?
Canby,
Northern Indiana.
Canby, Indiana.
I think that's right. isn't it?
I have no
Canby,
idea.
I don't know.
I thought
I've
that
heard
was
of it.
Southwest
Or is that the one down
Indianapolis,
down
isn't it?
that way?
I've heard the name before. but
Yeah, I have too.
Can't say I know where it's at.
I thought Canby's where I went on the other side of Yorktown at the gas station. What's the name of that restaurant? What's the name of that town?
Yeah, Canby's down by Mooresville,
Mooresville?
if it's the same Canby. I assume it-
Well, if
Doesn't
they
matter.
mentioned them,
They're
that they,
somewhere.
Yeah, I've always, K&W's always been really good to work with, so
Yeah.
I can't imagine they would not work with somebody. I'll learn more when they come out.
yeah.
So if we're going to, if we're gonna seek like proposals, right? Probably need to figure out what we want
Good idea.
and then type up that, create that description so we can get proposals and that are all quoting the same stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna have, the cliche phrase of, well, that's an apple and this is that's an orange. And
I don't know anything about it, but I'm worried that they won't put a pay unit on our current pump system
I don't think they will.
Oh, I don't think they will.
I think we'll have to have a new
with our
pump.
current tanks.
Yeah. Oh, the tanks, I think we're fine with.
Okay.
I think the pumps we aren't fine with.
Okay.
Why not? What?
They
I mean, you have to go inside the,
We're lucky they're electric.
they're old. They're old. The avgas pump is probably 40 years old.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, at least. No, it's older than that. You're right. It's
older than
probably
that.
closer to 50.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
it works well, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how the technology makes up on that part of it.
well, the new thing in the restaurants is it's called a square. So you have to go in
Yeah.
and run your cart inside. It's not out on the pump like at a gas station.
No,
See,
it-
that's what I was presuming it'd be on the pump.
It's on the pump.
Yeah.
All the ones
Yeah.
I've been at, they're
Yeah.
right there on the pump.
It
Okay.
will be on the
You
pump.
can't do anything until you put money in the
But
machine.
the tanks will be fine and everything. But I don't think that'll be a problem. But the pump is a problem.
All right.
I'm sure that as far as
Every self-serve one I went to,
Yeah,
I've been to, are above ground tanks.
Yeah.
But they're almost all self-contained. They got a dike around them and
Yeah.
In a box.
and
Yeah.
everything. They
Concrete
bring
box.
them and go, where do you want it? And it just
But you
drops
think
it.
about all your service stations you go to, the tanks are below the
Yeah,
ground. So
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So but I think,
Okay.
yeah, like where we've seen a lot of them as pilots, they, in some cases, they didn't have gas at all at some of those airports, and they wanted gas, and they have a system. Maybe they couldn't, maybe they were in a place they didn't want to dig a hole and put it in the ground, and they just bring these things and drop them off.
Sure.
I'll check with Joel on the procurement standard in terms of, is this a fall under a professional service? Or is this a capital?
Capital improvement.
Yeah. And see just what kind of,
Or both.
Yeah.
you know, what kind
Sounds
of,
like both to me.
Sounds
what
like
kind of
both.
quoting we need to do. Or,
Yeah.
you know, do we need to put this out for a full-fledged bid? Just make sure we're in compliance with the and it's local procurement, because I don't think the FAA is going to share this expense. Neither will NDOT. So,
Okay. What else you have?
I talked to Corey yesterday. We got a very small water leak out in the IU Health facility where the washer and dryer or the water supply comes through the wall. And I got Keith coming out to repair that. The last one, I'm sure this is not going to happen this time, but the last minor fix we had, he didn't even charge us for. So I'm sure we'll get charged this time, but it's not. I don't think it's exposed well enough. I think they can get to it real easy. And the green light on the beacon is intermittent again. I imagine it's that there's a. Man, I lost the name of it. It's probably not the bulb, but we'll replace the bulb at the same time. The LED would come up. I think that was by the time they brought the bucket truck up and replaced the lights. They're fairly well. Last time they were charged like $75 for bringing the bucket truck up, which I thought was relatively cheap, but it's going to need to be done here before long.
there was a lock issue.
There still is a lock issue.
Yeah, it's my fault. I'll get up.
I mean, it's, nobody ever goes out there, so, but yeah, there is a lock issue.
Okay.
And then John and I went to the REMC and transferred the electric accounts for the meters that we acquired in December. So they're now will be all billed to the city of Newcastle and paid out of the Board of Aviation Fund.
So that's basically all I got right now.
And then the quarter two, you'll get
Yeah,
it in
I'll
a
by the
few
end of the week.
days.
Yeah, I'll be here by
I'll
the end of the week.
send you guys an email.
I planned on having it today, but I sort of got behind.
All right, so we've, so the self-pay fuel system, you're gonna let us know Hoosier Petroleum says.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's anybody else around to start contact with, because probably want to get 2 quotes before it's over with, I would guess.
Well-
And I haven't really researched anybody else yet.
So, Muncie uses,
Do you know
Or
who Muncie
used
does?
Fuel
Because they
Tech.
just put in, okay, Fuel Tech.
yeah. Um,
Call Tim and talk to Tim.
Okay. Because they just put in a self-serve system. I know that.
He'll,
Yeah.
yeah, he'll would have known.
I'll get you the contact information. You wanna have Fuel Tech come in as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's up to you guys, but I would
If
think
you
you
would,
want
yeah.
2 quotes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
'Cause
Find out why, yeah, talk to Tim and go, why did you use them?
yeah.
Yeah, they're out of Florida.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna ask a question, I was looking for my notes from the last meeting, I know when you were talking about the fuel card, that there was, some questions regarding the, there was a call from IDEM regarding the registration.
Yeah,
And
that's what
I
I'm
didn't-
working on.
Okay, I didn't know, I know that there was supposed to be like some exchange of deeds and things, so I was just,
Oh,
yeah, I was
I'm
just sending
getting
that to
that.
make sure everything,
Yeah,
okay.
I've already.
I had that on my notes.
They had, the only thing they asked me after I submitted the request for change was they asked me for the warranty deed
Mhm.
that shows the transfer, so I got them a copy of that.
Okay, I was just checking,
Her name's Rita, I think,
okay.
yeah. She hasn't said anything else anyway. Well, that was the only response she had on that. She needed a proof of change. That's like 11 pages or something. I was surprised there wasn't a lot of questions after I got done with that, but there wasn't, so, other than that.
All right, so you wanna,
Sure. So this here is the final hangar layout that we had kind of all agreed upon as part of the ALP update and narrative report. You guys aren't held to this. Like you can make adjustments. But one recommendation, I was talking to Nathan, one of our engineers that you've met before, about what would be in potentially the board's best interest with handling, with going about getting a hangar. And I know that you have both different options where the airport can build and lease to recoup through lease rates, which you could do that if that's the option that you would have to do if you're wanting to use AIP funding. Or you could do the land lease and the tenant build, and then if the tenant leaves, obviously it would revert back to the board. So as far as
We can't do both at the same time, couldn't do them both.
timing on the AIP would slow things down.
yeah, if they're paying for the hangar, then there's not the AIP funding. So if you guys are paying for it, you guys could use AIP funds, and then that's where you guys would then recoup the money through those lease rates. Or you guys could put no money in and then just lease the land to the proposed tenant. The tenant would cover all the costs of the construction and everything like that. And then, like I said, everything would revert back to you if that tenant would leave. So my question was, from like an engineering standpoint, like how does that really look? And most likely, most likely they said it'd probably be a pre-engineered structure. So as far as my question was like, what does the design look like? If you guys are like, okay, here's the site that I want to do, what does the design look like for that? The cheapest option, there's two. We could go in, or CHA or the engineer could go in and do a design of the entire facility, but that would be a lot more expensive. So what we would recommend if you had us involved would be doing a design build contract. And so what that is CHA is not doing like the actual design of it, but what we would do is we'd be designing a criteria package that then you would submit for bid. And then what it would do, the contractor would then be the one doing the official design, the permitting, everything like that. But we would help with a bid process. We would handle anything to do with the CADX or the environmental, the ALP approval, any of those conversations with FAA, and then you could choose whether we would help with survey, because there'd have to be a survey involved, or the contractor could do that. But then that criteria package could go out for the bid or RFP, and the way Indiana has it is there's a selection committee, and that has to include an engineer and an architect, which we would be able to supply both of those as part of that. Then that criteria package would be awarded based on a grading and criteria price, with the lowest and best match for criteria being awarded. Then once a general contractor would be selected, then they would finish the rest of that upfront design. We would be able to review, provide comments, and we would also be able to do inspection services. And that would be a less expensive option than having like an engineering firm go through and do the full design, where it's most likely going to be a pretty engineered structure. So that's kind of what I feel like I just kind of wanted to first, before we really talked about what sites maybe, like what some of those options are, so that you can kind of think about that as we're going into some of the conversations of just what some of those options are for you from a financial perspective and logistics.
Let me get my two negatives out of the way first.
Yes.
Down by the fuel tanks and
Yeah.
the row of three, and then the 50
These
by
down
50.
here?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm against that. I feel like that's too much congestion for Lifeline. I feel like that's too much congestion for fuel pumps. I don't think that's fair to for
Yeah.
Lifeline to put all that right there. So I'm against all that right there. The 50 by 50 and the 40 by 44s. I'm not for that. But I want your guys' opinion.
I will
You guys
say,
chime in too.
when we did this 50 by 50, this was kind of like our thoughts in line with more with Lifeline. I knew that Lifeline had identified that they would be interested in potentially having more space in the future, so that's why.
Okay.
That's the only reason why we kind of showed that 50 by 50 to kind of give them an option that if they were wanting to have more space in the future, it's something is in close proximity to their existing. But I would maybe recommend also holding off on putting a 50 by 50 unless it was going to be with someone maybe
I'm
doing that. But
not sure of that, but I would
Okay.
say the 50 by 50,
do you think that would?
I think it's smaller than what they got right now.
So you don't think the 50 by 50 would probably
It would
be able
probably-
to accommodate?
Yeah, I think it would be smaller than what they got, because I think it's 60 deep.
60,
If I,
Yeah,
Oh, is it?
yeah,
and I think it's,
I'd want at least a 60
I think it's 50 by 60, but
if not an
Okay.
80.
But the other side of that, gets them too far away from the fuel system, I think.
I gotcha.
But
That makes
the other side of that, the 340 by 40 hangers up front, he's right.
Yeah.
That boxes them in pretty good, and you get a lot of downwash bouncing off of buildings and stuff when they take off. So those three would
That might
probably
be a better
definitely-
space if we need an equipment barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
if you-
and that one, the first one, the far west one would be a real, well, actually, I would say the first two west ones will be a problem anyway, because that air needs some,
Yep.
Don can speak more to that, but that air needs to be able to move away,
Yeah.
and you start
Yeah.
bouncing it off of buildings, and it's,
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I
And-
know.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know that kind of when we had all talked, our primary focus was kind of focusing more around the apron area. So I know that you guys had shown potential interest in maybe a build out here. But like I said, I'm open to talk about anything. And then if we also wanted a separate meeting, I can pull one of our engineers. I probably should have done that today, but I can pull one of our engineers that would be able to be better suited probably to answer some of the questions. I just wanted to at least bring the layouts to get some of those conversations
Yeah.
going, and then
Yeah.
I can bring them in at a later time to talk in more detail.
My second negative is I hope someday it does happen, but the road off of the parking lot.
Yes.
The 30. I just don't think we're gonna have money for that up front to get a driveway back to
Yeah.
the airport. So are you guys, okay, now scroll down to that first 60 by 60 on the far left-hand side there. 60 by 80.
Here.
I had a good meeting with DJ, and he's interested in leasing that spot. I said, how soon are you interested in lease? He says, let me put it like this. I'm interested in leasing that spot. He wants the number one spot before your lawyer can get the paperwork ready.
Yeah, and he might want,
And he said he wants to build.
I've talked to him several times before you and after that, and probably since Paul's talked to him too. and-
He hasn't called yet.
Oh, okay. He was
But,
going to,
but here's my question to you guys.
and he wants bigger than that.
If we don't have that road that goes in back behind, is it okay that he drives down the approach and, pulls in his vehicle?
I don't have a problem.
Oh, yeah,
He's a pilot, I mean.
At this point in time?
No,
Random people,
That would be normal.
All that
Okay.
stuff's going on right now. so-
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be-
we let guys drive down to the hangars now, so it'd be no different for him going.
Oh,
over there
not at
than it
all.
would be, yeah.
No.
So that driveway to me is a luxury down the road. I just don't feel like we're gonna have the money to put money in a
Right.
concrete or asphalt driveway
It
back
could
to
actually
those
be the
hangars.
very last thing that goes in there.
Yeah.
If you build all this other out, and you go, we'll build your road now.
Yeah, well, but here's my question. He's ready to lease right now, and he wants to finance it himself.
Okay.
He said it might be a year or so before he builds, but he would like to start lease right away. So if he does that, what if we say the other two? I told him if we build them, I thought our best buck was in T hangars. But he wasn't crazy about that, and a lot of people don't like the T hangars. So everybody seems to, if they have a choice, would like their own private hangar without, the obstruction of the other tail end of the plane. So what if that first one was lease land and we just don't get the AP money, but what if the next two we decided to build and it was more of a, we sold them kind of like a condo or
Let's build
to
the first
investors?
ones first.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to throw out a scenario.
When you go to other airports, there's all kinds. You drive down a taxiway and there's a itty bitty hangar here with a 150 in it. And next to that's 3 Gulfstreams, and next to that's 4 helicopters, and next to that's.
So basically we can do whatever we
We
want.
can do whatever we want.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
you can have some of them where others build and you guys can build some. That's
Okay.
really up to the board's preference.
If we're not using FAA funds,
Mhm.
what is the process what role do they play?
It would still need to go through like the ALP, like making sure that they are aware, so we'd have to have those conversations. We already have this being shown on the ALP update that's going on, so I think like that would be a relatively quick conversation. With FAA, probably only just like 1 or 2 phone calls. I don't see it being a big formal process, but you would still have to go through like the environmental, so the CADEX and all of that process, and being that it's on like federally obligated property, I think you would still have to make sure you're following like the survey process and things like that. Mhm.
What about the building and specs on the building? Is there anything that the FAA will require? It's
That
eventually going to be
I'll-
our building.
I'll still look into, let me talk to Nathan and ask him what that looks like with the design, like if we would still need a design criteria package or anything with that they would need to follow, or like if we would be able to go through and like gather specifications to make sure that the facility that they're putting, everything follows the proper standards. So I'll make sure.
This is within that AWAS
Mhm.
area. Is there any concern about?
That was the other thing
Yeah.
that I was wanting to look at, that I'm not sure. That's why I wanted to first kind of see where you guys were looking at the first facility. That way then I know what information I need to take to Nathan and then to kind of see what for sure that next step would look like. And then,
I think we had a,
if there's
didn't
anything
we
we
have a
need to
map
do.
with that radius on
Yeah,
there?
it's on.
Yeah, it's on there, so it's within the AWAS,
Oh,
so I
it
think,
is the AWAS.
yeah, it
So there's
is
a height limit.
technically,
Height limit?
I think we would be able to probably just be able to have a conversation with
I
FAA.
know there's a height. so.
But that's what I need to find out, like you said, like with the height limit, but I think we'd be able to have the conversations with the AWAS. I don't know that that would really hold it up necessarily. But if this is the location that you guys are specifically interested in, is it the 60 by 80 that you think is
He
it?
said 60 by 60, but I don't know what he's talking
Like
to
a
you
60,
guys.
well,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
no larger
Somewhere in that
than
area, 60 by 60 or 60 by
Okay,
80.
so not larger
He's-
than that, so right around that.
Yeah,
Okay,
he wants 80 feet, 60 by 80.
Oh,
60 by
okay.
80,
He might
okay.
even want 80 by 80, but.
He wants that spot right there. That
Okay.
he would love to have that
he's
spot.
got a Cherokee 6, but he's got other
Okay.
ideas.
Now, my next question is, why do we have 3 separate buildings? Why couldn't those, we're paying for 3 extra walls. Why can't those touch? And we take that 160 by 80 and raise it up and have,
As long as you
Four.
have
That was
doors.
because of the fire suppression,
Yep.
with
You
with
get it.
regulations from a fire suppression and safety standpoint. But
Well, up
once
at
you get
Muncie,
to
they're
this
right
size, they
next to
needed
each
to be larger.
They're not, they don't share a common wall. That's why their newest building that they built at Muncie, north of the old shop,
yeah.
if you notice, there's a breezeway between it. And they had to make sure that breezeway was long enough, and there's fire doors at each end, or they're gonna have to suppress all their buildings.
Okay, all right. Just wishful
T
thinking.
hangers, if you build T hangers, they're not,
It,
It's
it's
all
a
one.
size issue.
We had to do fire suppression between the living quarters
Yeah,
on the IU hangar and the hangar itself, and it would have been cheaper to separate.
Separate it.
They didn't want them separately.
Yeah.
But it would have been,
Okay.
well, let's say no more expensive, but it didn't save us any money.
Okay, all right.
when you get so
I-
big, you
and I
get
didn't
into
realize that
all
till we got
kinds of
into it.
things.
Yeah.
with-
has DJ got into any cost estimate or anything on what he's looking at building?
I'll talk to him about that. He may also want a multi-use building, by the way.
Well, he wants a facility that he can literally pull his vehicle in, especially in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Get out of the weather and,
And he might also want some office space in it, so. There's a whole development thing. We'll have to talk to him.
so my first thought is we have somebody right away that wants to lease the land. But the others, I mean, we're wide open. The number 4, I've always thought if we build one, we should build 4. I think we've got 4 people, 3 other people that would be interested in a climate-controlled hangar that would be very interested, whether it's a condo situation or invest into it. And then, I don't know if they would lease the land also and just invest in it and work month by month off by time of what they've invested in it. So I don't know, that's up for us to decide.
Can you,
I just sent Nathan a
have
message.
internet access there? Can you put it, if I give you something on the internet to look up, can you put it up there?
She can.
Yeah, I
And she
can.
can.
What's
Yeah.
going on? What
Look
is
up,
it?
look
Yeah.
up, go to a Google so you can get an overhead of Anoka, Blaine County Airport.
Sorry, what was it?
Anoka, Minnesota.
Maybe.
Blaine County Airport,
Anoka.
Anoka.
Yeah, I see my great spelling. Okay, Anoka County. This one? Where I'm going?
Yeah, get a, like a
Do you want me to do like
Google
an aerial?
Maps where I
Okay,
can see
let me-
an overhead. No, that just looks like
Looks a lot like
Newcastle.
ours.
Yes, it looks just like Newcastle.
Okay, Anoka, Minnesota Airport.
Boy, look at that big slab of cement there. That looks good.
Yeah, now go further south there, just leave it that
Oh.
scale's fine. Now, all of those little squares are private hangars.
Wow.
Those people lease from the county. I have a good friend that, he's on his second hangar there because he outgrew his other one. And he and his buddies Oh, in fact, you're just about at his hangar. It's the one with the brown roof on the right
This
side
one?
over there. No, down
Oh,
where the taxiway comes across, that south taxiway.
oh, yeah,
That one with the brown roof is his.
okay.
He was on the other side of the airport, but he's been there for 35 years. And when he was there, he was the 9th hangar to be built there.
Wow.
And now people come in and they lease up space and they can build whatever they want. You go to the other side of the airport, there's that many more.
Wow.
And
How big's the town?
it's right
It's
outside
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Oh, suburb of
Yeah.
Lawrence to
But
Minneapolis.
all of those are all hangars.
Hmm.
And you can find lots of other airports where they do that. You can go to Warsaw, look at Warsaw, go to Warsaw, Indiana, and look at theirs. That started out with one little taxiway and one hangar right there at the end. And they just, keep building more when somebody decides they want their own hangar. Some of them are small hangars, some of them are bigger hangars. Some of these are corporate, but the majority of those are. So if you look there at Warsaw, all those hangars built north of that ramp space, and then all the ones up at the very far north end, those are all private hangars, all built on, all the airport did was put in those parallel taxiway, or those stub taxiways. And at first they just put in one taxiway. Well, at first they just put in one section, one guy built one hangar, and somebody else wanted to build a hangar, and somebody else wanted to build a hangar.
They have electric and gas, they don't have water or
Depends on what
toilets.
they
or-
want. Yeah,
Some
some
of them do.
I think you bring water to them.
Yeah, they, yeah.
What about bathroom?
Yeah, I think they have.
Oh, there's several of those that
That's what I asked
have,
them
there's
about.
one that's got a really nice bar in it, and bathroom, and
Yeah.
shower, and sauna out
How's that
back.
work?
You can see that.
I don't know.
We'd have to put a
To be
lift
honest, I
station
don't
in
know.
and pump it to the new tanks, which is, we just run a 2-inch line and bore it, don't have to open dig anything. We bore it just like we
So that's
bore
on the septic,
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
on the water? Just dig a separate well?
Well-
Yeah, we got a, I mean, the airport's got a well now. I don't know how, well, water's
You can,
wonderful. I
yeah,
don't know
you
if
can
you
build
run
a
how
well
much
just
you
for,
can run
just
off
for
that
that
well.
section and go, no, this is for this section up here.
I mean, it's not like it's gonna be an apartment or anything.
Yeah, it's not gonna get
very-
used a lot.
Very limited.
No, I mean, we don't, that well there's not used
Very
a
limited.
lot. Yeah, I mean,
Septic wise, there's no criteria because there's no bedrooms.
that's right.
Do we wanna, accumulate some information, or I feel like before we get Joel involved, we need to let Joel know what some other airports do about how they lease their land, how much they charge for leasing the spot, and I mean, if you guys can get any input on that, or we just literally pay Joel to call some
I think-
other airports and,
Nikki, aren't we at pretty much a 25-year limit now on leasing land for hangars? I mean, at one point it was 99 years, and then it was down to 50, and I think everybody's pretty much at 25 now before it reverts back to the airport.
I've never heard that before.
I honestly don't know what
Well, it's been a long
the,
time
what
since I
the
built one, but
limit
when I
is.
built over at Indianapolis, I asked for 99 years, not knowing how long they'd have it or where it was gonna end up, and I've been told, no, they don't do that anymore, and I asked for 50, and they said, no, we don't do 50s anymore either. We managed to get 37,
Yeah, I
they
don't-
wanted
I
25,
don't
but
Which airport?
international.
Delaware lease any
Allied
space.
Fidelity. You know, the big hangar next to this old state police hangar, that big hangar, I built that one.
Paul had a question.
Does Delaware do any of that? Leasing space for somebody to build a
Not
hangar?
yet, they will. The last building they built up there that they leased exclusively to one operator, they were gonna build their own, and they were hum-hawing around and took forever to do it, and they just said, well, we'll build it ourselves and lease it to you.
So Nikki, can you guys find out any of that stuff for us?
Yes, I can find that out. you guys, I don't, as long as if you guys are not doing federal funds at all, you guys should not need a criteria package or anything.
Well, I think we want to look at
Um,
going down both avenues, don't you agree?
Okay.
Yeah. So I think the T hangers along that bottom, which the picture we had up there, you may look for federal funding to help build those. But all the
Perfect.
60 by 80 ones,
Okay, you mean these,
yeah.
looking at maybe a criteria,
Yeah.
what it would look like for criteria
And,
package.
and I
for
would
those.
just consider, I don't know how far you have to have with the firewall or whatever you want, but maybe put them closer together and get a fourth one in there. I don't know.
I think that you're required to technically
Okay.
have, with
50
this
feet.
size, yeah, that size of these, it's a 50-foot
All right.
requirement.
All right.
Yeah. I was asking if there's anything from like a NEPA perspective that you would need, or what the steps, what you guys would need to do as far as if the tenant is building versus, like I said, the criteria package is how we would do with these for seeking the federal funds. So I'm just, that's why I was sitting here
But again,
messaging our engineers. just to
I
see.
think we want to monitor the how this building gets
Yes.
built, because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
eventually our
Absolutely.
building.
Yeah, yeah.
So we need to make
Well,
sure it's
the
to
specifications,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
It has to
Yeah.
meet
I
our
don't know
specs.
why it shouldn't meet the federal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
most of those hangar manufacturers, you buy a kit. It's just a
Mhm.
kit.
Yeah.
Nikki,
The
is that as far
The
north as
newest
you
two
go
that
with
Muncie have
buildings?
built in the last year,
As
and
far
they're
as
getting
close
ready
to the
to do
runway?
another one any day.
Yeah, so
They
I
got
think
two
right
more to build.
here,
They would like to
there's a
have them
line
done by
right
the end of the
here.
year. It's just a kit.
that's
Yeah,
a
so,
building restricted.
like
It's
erected
concrete,
to-
so they
Okay,
can't
so
go
you
any
could
further than
Erected
one
to
foot.
sells you the package,
Yes,
and you have
there's
to get a
options for
steel
here. These
erector
are-
to put it
You
Just
can
like-
build on the north side of
Yeah.
that taxiway
And
then.
all
Okay,
you
yeah.
do is
that'd
how high
be
you want it
something.
and what kind of doors do
You
you
can
want.
still
north
build
side of
more
the
than
existing-
that.
But there's
Hangars.
also,
That'd be
Out
something
there.
Paul, he was thinking about a fourth one to the east, but you could
Yeah.
build
We're
on the,
running out of
Paul, you
space.
can go on the north side of that taxiway,
Yeah.
put three more.
But it
already
would
half a
have to be
taxi,
the
you know,
smaller,
taxiway
so it'd
there.
be
Yeah, it might
more
be.
of like those 40
Side.
by
Okay.
44s.
Okay.
Because, so here, if you had this is the tax lien, so you have the tax lien object-free area, so nothing can be built in that. So
Okay.
right here, this red line, that'd be the tax lien, tax lien object-free area for this tax lien. And then right here, you'll see there's this line, the BRL, that's the building restriction line. And that's because of, like with the runway and
Parallel
everything
on
like
that,
that, and the taxiway with that spacing, we can't go any further north. So you're kind of sandwiched between those areas. So that kind of limits you then to, like I said, that 40 by
the 40
44.
by 40.
Mhm.
Okay.
But there is the opportunity. And there's also an opportunity, even like there is right here where you could fit in like a 40 by 44.
How come we couldn't put a 60 by 60 or 60 by 80 right there where that box you were?
This year?
Yeah, yeah.
That was because
It's too close to the
yeah, I
red
think
line.
it was yeah, with the spacing, it was too close to everything. Mhm.
Okay.
Who pays for the driveway?
I can double check though.
That'd
We
be
can do a
us.
60 by 80.
That'd be on us. So
Yeah.
I mean, that money's
I'll double
last.
check if that
That's,
can be a
from
60
where?
by 80. If
well,
there's
that's,
a
Well,
no, that's why I asked
I'm
him.
not talking about this driveway. I'm talking about this.
Us?
Yeah. It's probably gonna cost more than the hangar.
So, I don't wanna be a wet blanket, but we probably ought to figure out that cost before we do any exploration. of the
Well, we
building.
gotta figure out how much we're gonna leasing the land for too. That's where we need you guys to get nosy and see what they're leasing.
As much as he'll pay, because we'll need
Right,
every,
yeah.
we'll need every dollar.
Every dollar.
He's,
Can't pay for that.
if he's gonna build a building,
Well, and he's very
Yeah.
clear that he would like to start leasing right away, and it might be a year and a half before he builds, so we hope it's 2 years. We hope it builds up for,
And if you don't build buildings right away, that taxiway wouldn't have to go any farther.
Yeah, you
At
can
the
just build,
start,
you move
right
the
to the
taxiway
end.
as you sell, as you move the,
Yeah.
lease
Yeah.
the property.
like a sidewalk in front of a house.
Yeah.
You got the
You-
first one you gotta do, yeah.
yeah, all you gotta do is pretty much go to,
You wouldn't have to build all the way
Might
out.
as well design the whole thing. though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Design
then,
the whole thing and then build it.
The
as
TLOF, the
needed.
blue stuff here on the south, on the bottom part of that, so that's, this is our existing, yeah, that's our existing,
yes.
so then this would be new also.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we
But
use,
those are gonna come out right, you're gonna pull it out and then you're gonna be almost on the
Apron.
existing apron.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, you will, but that's the downside of that is
You're gonna lose some,
We're
you're
gonna lose
gonna lose
parking
some parking space.
for itinerary traffic.
Yeah. Why can a door not be on the north side of that and
Got more taxiway to build.
oh,
This
yeah.
was, we did this just because it was where you could utilize the existing
Yeah, I get
apron
it. Yeah,
that
yeah.
you have.
Yeah.
So as far as kind of going back to answer one of the questions, like with this hangar here is what the process would look like. Like I said, you wouldn't have to technically have the criteria package, again, like monitoring what's being put there, of course. But I don't think that there's actually, like, you wouldn't have to follow, per se, like, specific, like, the CADX or anything like that, since it's not using federal funds, but you would most likely then need to prepare, what they call, like, 7460 exhibits, which is an airspace analysis.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that would be required. Again, I'll check with how that what would be involved with the AWACS. I don't think that'd be a problem. I think you'd probably be okay. We'll
Did
double
you say
check.
7460? I was being smart.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the exact words he was going to use.
Yeah.
Did you say 7460?
yeah.
I gotta write it down.
Okay, I do have a question
Sorry.
about the layout.
No, you
We
don't need
use
to
it a lot, so I
apologize.
didn't realize
You just embarrassed her to death. Look how red
I
her
didn't get the
face.
sarcasm. It went right over me.
I got a question about the
Yes.
layout. We're talking about putting these taxiways up
Do you want
here.
me to pull this down a
Yeah,
little bit?
pull it down a little bit. And of course, there is the option
Right.
there. But we turn these buildings around and bring them out to the south, and you build your taxiway in here, turn these around and put them to the
Mhm.
north, you got a common taxiway for both. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
like that.
Yeah, I wonder if that's better.
I'm not sure that isn't a better, now, you can tell me the downsides of that, I'd be glad to hear that, but you have a common taxiway for,
Yeah, so I think if you were to do
That's just
that,
keeping
I think it
auto
would then
traffic
start,
yeah.
out of.
I think you're then gonna start limiting, 'cause I think we had looked at that, you'll start limiting
You're
your.
gonna limit the
You're gonna
the
limit
north
anything
side
else
of
to
it,
the
that
north,
you
so
are.
you'll lose, I think, the option to have any of these in the
Yes.
future. Because if you're shifting it, then everything with the taxi lane, then all that tax lane, if you're shifting the tax lane up here, the tax lane OFA is going to shift. So then any opportunity for building up here
Okay.
would go away. So you just it's not that it's not doable, it's just then you're limiting yourself.
not be as
Yeah,
efficient
it may
overall,
not
yeah.
be, yeah, it's limiting yourself on those future space. So you'd be losing opportunity for 6 of those.
Well,
the 6
I
of
am-
those hangars
You
right
can
there.
come up with room to do that and have all the hangar doors on the south
Mhm.
I am being sarcastic, but I'll tell you ahead of time.
in the winter.
Yeah.
South
If-
ramp is a lot easier to take care of than a north one.
Yeah. If we fill those 360 by 80s and we build those T hangars, this is me being sarcastic. To do more than that probably won't happen in our lifetime.
You're right about that.
For
Oh,
us-
yeah, no, it's-
for us to
it's
do
not-
that-
It's not.
for us to do
It's
that
not.
Wait a minute, John's only 30.
Well,
Well,
yes, dude,
but that's John's problem.
For us to do what we've just
For
been
some
We
other
did
doing.
one of the 60 by 80s and it was DJs and we had some 4 T hangers, that'd be
Yeah.
amazing to have.
That'd be huge.
And you got
We
the
get past
option in the future also, the
DJs and one other
other T
hangar.
hangers
is
aren't gonna
amazing.
last forever, and you got that space
Yeah,
where you
so
can.
Of any
the rest of the build out.
hangars where-
So I
especially
like
those
John's
two
idea
south.
of putting the taxway in the middle.
I do too.
And-
I think we ought to look at
It's a
that.
2-for-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, John.
Well, I think I just heard a motion for CHA to do a preliminary design on,
For
on
the, for the.
on a shared taxiway.
It
For this
also
area?
relieves
It's
your.
to turn those
It
around,
also
put the
relieves your
doors at the
parking
other-
ramp too.
at the
on
north
north
side.
side
I
of
know.
the parking ramp.
So go ahead and flip them and
Yeah.
shift
Yeah.
everything? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
See what that looks like.
And then give us a rough cost estimate on
A little bit of taxiway at a time.
Okay.
the full design,
Yes.
and
Well,
then just
phase
a
of taxi.
phased
Concrete's gonna
construction
change every-
approach.
If you do it
Every
that
6
way,
months with the way IMI charges for their
if you do it
concrete.
that way, I don't know that you need all of this.
Right.
No,
I-
it wouldn't.
I can go away.
Yeah, so it would, that would leave this apron could stay as
As
is.
is, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, all of this would basically just go in between.
Yes.
So everything, this would just get shifted north.
Yeah.
So, this here would just go away.
And just make
So
sure
we're
you make
basically
that,
just moving all of this and eliminating
Well, then
that.
those old hangers will be tore down.
yeah, just make sure you make
Rebuild them there.
that taxiway between those hangars
So,
wide enough for something with enough wing that will fit
Yeah.
in a, you know,
60.
Whatever fits in a 60 by 80,
Yeah.
it's gotta be big enough to handle that.
Yeah, we had that problem with Pilatus. There's places they were gonna put us overnight, and you go, yeah, we got a big enough one down there, we need a 60 by 80.
yeah,
Couldn't
Sorry,
get to
we
it?
can't get to it from here.
Chop your wings off.
Yeah,
You
well, we got a.
wanna take
80
one wing
we
off
got
or
a 80-foot
lift it
wide
off the
hanger,
boat?
what's the
What's
problem?
being filed with the FAA,
yes.
right? I don't think
So
we
we
want
got
to
a
mess with the
65-foot wingspan,
with the
that's the
official
problem.
layout plan.
Not
right?
yet.
No, right.
So what I
Just
think
say it.
then, the next step, what I'll do, I'll have us adjust that layout, and I'll first just show you guys the new layout, make sure that it's what you're wanting, that is what you're wanting it to look like. After we do that and you guys approve that layout, then I would say then we go into that design build criteria package. And for that design build criteria package, forgive me, but were you wanting me to look at that just for the 40 by 44s, or are you wanting to include that 60 by 80 in the criteria package? If
Well, I
you
think
want
you should include it. 60
to go ahead
by
and
80.
include it. Okay.
Put on there.
We only need the design,
'Cause-
we only need the criterion if we're going to build it.
Right, that's
We
what I was
don't
gonna
have-
say. If
we
you-
don't have
you-
the money
you
to
don't-
build it.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you guys don't need the criteria package, so I just wanted to check, but I don't think we need to do anything like that for the 60 by 80. I think just, we would really, the criteria package I think should just be for those hangars that you're looking to build, so those 40 by 44. And we don't have to do it for all of them at once, or we
But
can
if
do it
they're
all at
gonna
once.
end
however
up being
you're
our
looking.
hangars at some point, well,
Hey.
I'm not gonna be here, but
We just approve the,
Mm-hmm.
we just approve the building specifications before the.
however
building
that's
permit.
done, yeah, but, yeah. We have to have criteria to use to tell a potential builder, okay, this is what you have to
We
build.
hand them the specs.
Yeah,
So I think it's something, in my mind, which could be wrong, it's something less than a design.
Right, it's not the full design, it's just the criteria package
Yeah,
for
right.
the design.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
But
just,
before that, it's how much is that pavement gonna cost?
So I won't jump too far ahead myself. My first step for you guys is just showing you the new layout and putting, the opinions of probable cost to it.
Yep.
And then I say then we'll go from there as far as what would be included in the criteria package.
Yep.
That sound good?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but if we left it like it is,
Uh-huh.
we'd pay for concrete back to here. But if we shift this and put this right here, then all of a sudden we've got the 240 by 44s and the 80 by 60. We got access to 3 of them instead of just one, that concrete there.
Right.
So if we go here, all of a sudden, we've got access to 3 hangars instead of just one.
What fits in the 60 by 80? Can you put 2 planes in there, or is that just a one?
Yeah.
If you've got
Our hangar is.
Yeah.
Yeah, your hangar is.
Yeah, and we used to put 2 out there where the IU hangar is too.
yeah.
Well, and actually I had 2.
I could have
You're
sworn I
not
saw
60.
3 in there at one time.
Oh, yeah, we've had 3
Are
smaller.
you-
It depends on what they are,
Yeah.
and how good you are at putting stuff
60
in.
by
Stacking them in.
80.
Stacking them in.
King Air
Well,
200,
sometimes
I mean, it
putting-
it's
depends
bigger
on,
than
sometimes
your hangar.
putting them
I
in
don't know
tail
what
first is
what kind
the
of height
wrong
you
way to
talking
do it.
about on the hangar?
Yep.
Like the 60 by 80s,
I'm not sure what that
Okay.
height. Mm-mm.
it probably needs to be around 18, 20 feet. I don't
Yeah,
want to
if you don't, yeah, you
gotta
need
go
a
up
20-foot tall door.
Yeah,
Well, here's another dumb question. We take gas, electric back there. You know, I'm a building owner, and whoever I rent it to, or lease the land to, he would pay the utilities for that? I mean,
Well,
there'd be
a
a
lot-
meter on it?
a
and
lot
he would
of
pay
them
it?
are
yeah, I
putting
think
in-
most of them got meters on
He-
them.
That's
If they're
kosher?
if they're putting gas to them, and a lot of them are propane anyway, so they each have their own little tank.
Okay, all right.
And some don't, some say, well, no. They might start out going, well, I don't need heat, but make sure your site's designed with putting a tank in later, cause they'll, oh, can I put my own heat in? Sure, just bolt it up there in the corner and hook up the tank.
Okay, just
I mean,
wondering about
there's more than one
utilities.
way to do that, so.
Okay,
When do you all want to meet next?
first, next
When will we
month,
have answers?
How much time do you need?
couple weeks.
Let me,
The weekend?
I was gonna say, I'll have to coordinate with Nathan's team. I'm not sure what they all have on their plate currently, that way I can see when he can fit me in. So how about if you guys are good, I can reach out to him today or tomorrow, talk to him, see what their timeline looks like, and get back to you. I don't wanna give you guys a date that's not realistic. I would say to the beginning of August would be fine.
The 4th or the 11th.
I was looking at the 4th. The 4th at noon.
I won't be here the 4th. Not that I have to be, but.
I can make noon at 4th, on the 4th.
How about the 11th at noon?
I can do the 11th,
I'm good.
I believe.
August
Neither.
11th at noon? Is there consensus on that?
No.
Any-
Yeah, that'd be better probably for me on the 11th, because my brother may be gone on the 4th, because he's going to Mayo Clinic.
And I'll have one of our engineers, let me check.
And may or may not be coherent on the 11th, but.
How's that change?
What's new?
So what's different from any other month?
Yeah. Well, usually.
We deal with that all the time.
Usually there's no
At noon,
excuse, but I'll have an
Yes.
excuse this time.
I'm gonna put something on Nathan's calendar, that way I can have an engineer for the.
Is there any other business to come before the commission?
Well, I would like for us to look deep, serious, and hard into how much we're gonna lease that first spot for. I'd like to get some legal paperwork for DJ to sign and start collecting some
I'll talk
land lease.
I'll
Well,
talk
we
to
kinda-
Joel on the process, and then I'll
Yeah.
talk to Joel on the, because I'm sure the process includes a determination of an amount. And my guess is that it involves some kind of appraisal.
I don't know.
I mean,
I mean, any
it's
other
our
public,
land, we can charge them $1
Yeah.
a year.
any other public entity that I've worked with involves the use of appraisals.
Yeah, and you have to, I think you have to charge something that's reasonable. You can't,
We're not at the point where we can, get a good price for this. I
no,
don't think.
we can't, yeah, $10,000 a month, how about that?
Yeah.
No, that ain't gonna happen.
So if
But we don't wanna do a lease like some of the leases, $1 a year for 9
No.
years, you know, no, we're not gonna do that.
So, I'll ask Joel,
There's
What is-
a per
what is the
square.
process
There's a per square.
lease
rate
property,
somewhere.
and what is the process to determine the amount? If that process includes appraisals, do I have your permission to engage appraisers?
Sure.
I guess.
Yes.
Okay, reluctantly given. All right.
Yeah.
Any other business to come before the board?
Can we get an appraisal on what the appraiser said?
Where are we gonna be at with, we're gonna be able to look at something with fuel on 811 too? I feel that's sort of a big priority, we gotta get figured out.
Yeah.
They get back with you quick enough?
They're supposed to be back, they're supposed to be come out.
Okay.
At least Hoosier Petroleum. He thought he could get them out here next week to look at the site. Now, that doesn't get the.
Can you request the, we have an
Yeah.
estimate by the
Yeah.
10th?
Yeah.
Or ballpark. I mean, it doesn't have
Yeah, I
to be,
mean.
it's in stone. We
Something
just,
within 10% or something.
yeah, nobody's holding prices over 10 days now anyway, so if we just got a ballpark of what it was gonna cost with,
Okay.
it'd be good.
So that one and then Fuel Tech,
Fuel Tech.
if you wouldn't mind calling Fuel Tech.
Give me your ink pen just a second, I forgot.
And then I'll double check too. I'll look into that this week. I'll have, like I said, for the fuel farm to see what else guys, if there's any other
What's the
steps
guy's
you need
name
to
up
follow,
in
I'll get to
Muncie?
you.
Tom?
And I confirmed
You want his
with
number?
Ethan, I'll
Yeah.
have I'm gonna look, we're gonna look to have an engineer
Just say,
with me, at the August 11th meeting. That way, if there's any specific questions that come up, somebody will be able to speak to it. That knows more than what I told on it.
And as you guys talk to DJ, I mean,
He's gonna give me a phone number. I was just looking this over. But,
Nice pen, and
I think the consensus when you guys talk to DJ is that we're working hard to try to make something work. I mean, we don't have anything etched in stone, but we're working in that direction. Yeah. We're excited about him being interested.
I was supposed to talk to him tonight anyway, so.
And he's presently at Anderson, and he's not real pleased at Anderson.
He's kind of mediocre about Anderson. It takes him longer. It takes him about 40 minutes to get there from here.
Yep.
I got a number for Tim.
Yeah. 744-7513. I got two more.
Okay.
729-1078.
1078.
Yeah. And 747-5690. But try the other two. Those might be the best bet.
Okay. 1, 2.
The one's the fire station. I don't know if he
Okay.
has an office there anymore.
I reluctantly give that back to you.
is there a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm with Paul.
Thank you.